Hello everyone. Today I have prepared for you a gentle hip opening yoga flow. So we'll start by standing tall, pulling our shoulders back, engaging our belly, engaging the thighs, and just move your weight on the left leg and start by lifting the right knee to your chest. Find a point just in front of you where you can focus and try to keep the balance here. So pull the knee as much as you can towards your chest. Breathe here. And then open to the right side. Open the knee. And you can counterbalance with the left hand. And then release the leg. Now we do the same thing on the other side. So move your weight to the right leg. Find your point just in front of you. Look there and lift your left knee to your chest. Maybe one side feels easier to balance than the other one. That's totally normal. Engaging your tailbone, pulling it towards your spine, down. And then open the left knee to the side, counterbalance with the right hand if you want. External hip rotation of the left hip. And then release. And now we do the same thing, but we'll move dynamically. So this is a dynamic warm-up. So lift your right hip, knee up, then move to the right side and down. Try to not touch the floor if you can. If you cannot maintain the balance, then just every time you go down, just put your foot on the ground. Do this a few times. Just draw this kind of half circle here with your knee. And open as much as you can to the right side. Keep the balance so your left thigh is really engaged. And then release. Move to the other side. So your weight on your right leg. Lift the left hip, knee towards your chest. And then just do the same thing dynamically here. Dynamic warm-up. External rotation of the hip joint. Try to keep your foot away from the ground, but if you lose your balance, no problem, just put it on the ground and then continue. Try to find the balance again. Open really wide. If you want, you can help with your hand to really open the knee to the side. And then release. And now we come down on our mat. Just to open the hips a little bit more, come to all fours. Keep a straight spine. And from here, come to your downward facing dog. So just lift your tailbone up to the sky. Bend your knees if your back is rounding. Breathe here. And then lift one leg up to the sky. Try to open the hip as much as you can. Lift the leg more and more. Then bend the right knee. So open the hip to the side. Return back to three-legged dog, so closing the hips. Hips are in one line now, pointing down. Breathe in and breathe out. Right foot in between your hands. Come for high lunge. So really feel now the left hip opening. Release the knee down. Make sure your right knee is just above your heel. If you want, move the left knee a little bit back to deepen the stretch, but if that's enough, then just stay where you were. If you move it back, then with the exhalation, try to go a little bit deeper in your low lunge. Interlace hands behind the back. Open the chest here. Then put the hands on the ground and come back to your downward facing dog. Just walk the dog here. So one heel towards the ground, then the other one. And then lift your left leg in the air. Point it up towards the sky as much as you can. Bend the knee, open the hips. So hips are now showing to the left side, pointing to the left side. And then come back to the three-legged dog. Close the hips. Hips pointing down now. And exhale, foot between the hands. Come to your high lunge first. And then release the right leg, right knee. If you want to stay here, or if you want to deepen it further, you can move the right knee a little bit back, just to open further. So feel the right hip now. Opening. Shoulders down. And release the hands behind you. And then hands back to the ground. Downward facing dog. Walk the dog. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale, right knee to right hand. So come back to your pigeon on the right side. So for pigeon pose, you don't have to have your shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. That's not what we want here. We can pull the, so maybe you can see here, my heel is just below my other hip. So stay here and really try to keep in the middle. So don't collapse to the right side. Keep both hip bones in one line. This would open the left hip. Stay here. Now we are also strengthening the back a little bit. And with the next exhalation, come to your elbows. You can either stay on your elbows or you can come with the forehead towards the ground, whatever you prefer. So now the right hip is in flexion and the left one is extension. So really also feel the right outer hip opening and breathe. And when you're ready, slowly come up. Put your hands on the ground and then come back to your downward facing dog. Feel the difference between the left and the right side now. The right hip is more open. And then lift your left leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. And exhale, left knee to left hand. Come to pigeon on the left side. And then again, think about your heel below your right hip. Don't think about making the shin parallel. It's much more important to keep the hips in one line and not to collapse to the left side. So pull the right hip down to the ground. Stay here to strengthen the back a little bit. And with the exhalation, come to your elbows. You can either stay here or come down to your forehead. And if this is too hard for you, you can always put just a blanket underneath your left hip now, just to elevate it a little bit, and then you can keep both hips in one line. Just a blanket or a bolster or whatever you have. Now feel the difference, maybe one side is different than the other one. And then slowly release and come up. Come back to your downward facing dog. Walk the dog and think about your hips. Now they should be a little bit more open than in the beginning. Look towards your hands, and with the next exhalation, just step, cross your legs and come down to seated. And slowly come back on lying on your back. We are going to do a few final hip openers here. So take your left knee is pointing up. Take your right foot, place your foot on the left knee and open the right hip. Stay here for a little bit like this, and make sure you flex the right foot. This would protect the right knee from any injury. So don't point it, but flex like this. Open the hip, open the knee, and stay here. If this is enough for you, you can stay where you are, or you can lift your leg, the left leg, and grab just behind your hip. So this is lying pigeon. Inhale, and with the exhalation, pull your legs a bit closer to you each time you exhale. Don't forget to flex the right foot and open the right knee. If this is too easy, you can grab on your shin bone to deepen the stretch, but make sure your shoulders are on the ground. So don't come up. If that's the case, then just grab behind the hip. A little bit lower if you want. Whatever feels good for you. Feel the right outer hip, the outside part. And then release the left foot on the ground and change. So take the left leg, left foot on the right knee, open the left knee, and just stay here. Again, external rotation of the hip. Flex the left leg. Don't point it, but flex to protect the knee. And when you're ready, either stay here or grab behind the right hip and lift your legs. With each exhalation, pull them a little bit closer to your body. Feel the left outer hip opening. If that's too easy for you, grab your shin bone, but keep your shoulders on the ground. Maybe one side is a little bit harder, so just stay where you are. One last breath here. And then release. And for our final pose, just before we finish, come into baby pose. So take your, as you are lying, just grab on your big toes and pull your legs so your knees should come closer to your body, as close as they can. Breathe here. It's important to keep the lower back on the ground, so don't lift like this, but keep it down. So your tailbone should be on the mat. Extend the right leg, and then the left one. Roll to one side, then to the other. Or just stay in the middle, pulling your knees towards you. And then release. Hug your knees. And come back slowly to seated. And before we finish, just take your legs a little bit apart. And make sure so we are doing like a 90 degrees with each of our shin bones. So sit on rotate to the right side, sitting on your right hip. The left hip should be coming to the ground as much as you can. And from here, hands behind you, and just roll to the left side. So keeping a 90-degree angle here with your knee. Then roll back again to the right and to the left. This is a great hip opening. Roll a few times so your feet stay where they are. You just move from the right side to the left side. And then release. So this was a hip opener flow, which I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or you just want to let me know how it felt, then please write in the comments below. Enjoy this video, and for more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.